Happy birthday, Mom! We put together this video for your birthday. I know you're always doing them for other people, but I know how much you like them. So I hope this is up to your standards. Yeah, but happy birthday. I love you very much, as you know. And I just always have felt like you've been a role model to me, and I've always admired you, and how kind you are, and how you always have a positive attitude about everything. And I've always aspired to be like you, and I take it as a big compliment when people do say that, I'm like you and that I'm kind and nice, and I try to be positive as you are. And I just always like that you're there for me too. Whenever I need anything, you're the one that will listen to however petty the thing is that I'm calling you about. And you're just always so supportive in there. And sometimes I feel like you don't take care of yourself as much as you do all of us. Growing up, you were always like chaperoning us around to wherever we needed to be, and you'd get off work, come pick us up, take us to our sporting events, pick us up, and then make dinner, and you were always doing all these things. I don't ever think you sat down. Of course, I never said thank you to you for that during that time, but I don't know how you did all of it, and you always remained in a good mood and positive, and I'm grateful for all that you did for us growing up. And I feel like you've always been a role model to me, but you also have been one of my really good friends, like one of my best friends. And I'm so happy that we have that relationship. A lot of my friends don't have that relationship with their parents, and I feel like I enjoy doing things with you. You're one of the funnest people to go out with. I never quite know what to expect. So, but yeah, so I love just being with you and hanging out with you and doing things. I remember one New Year's, we spent the New Year's Eve together celebrating. I think Dad was supposed to go, but he got sick or something, so I was your day, and I was really excited to go with you, but I think you thought I wanted to be with my friends or whatever, but I was like, no, I want to be with you. This is fun. We did have a good time, and I felt like it was a lot of fun with you, and I just feel like you're always up for anything, and I know it's going to be good. You're going to be fun and positive and try anything. I remember when we were younger, I was visiting my friend Hannah in Ashland, and you came down with us, and there was a park there, and they had people like these sumo wrestlers that had like this big like inner tubes around them or something. I don't know, this sounds crazy as I'm describing it, but they had these big like inner tube things around them, and it was like they were wrestling each other, like you were supposed to knock the other opponent over so they couldn't get up, and like hitting each other with these inner tubes, and like no other really adults were doing it or anything. It was just little kids, but you were like, oh, we should do it. I think I was probably more timid, and you convinced me to go up there, and so we did it together, and pretty sure you beat me, but that's okay. But I just remember thinking, like, how cool is my mom? She goes up and does this crazy thing, and I don't see any other adults doing it, and so I just felt like you always encouraged me to try new things and do different things, and you were always there and just someone to do something with and have a lot of fun with. And although you didn't know it, but I think I always really enjoyed even running errands with you when I was younger. I just love being with you, and you're one of my best friends, and I'm so grateful for that relationship and that I have you there. There's so many things I could say about you that are nice. I feel like I'm leaving a lot out, but I love you tons, and you mean so much to me, and I just hope that you like this video and that it is up to your standards, I guess. But the bottom line is I love you lots, and happy birthday.
Hi Mom, I first off wanted to say happy birthday, and that I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I wanted to take this time to share some memories I have of you, and to also thank you for all you've done for me. And I first off wanted to say thank you for always putting up with me while I was a child. I was not the easiest kid by any means. I would throw tantrums and throw my butt up in the air in the middle of a grocery store or wherever. I like doing that a lot. So thank you for always having so much patience with me. And also, I have a story to tell about when I was younger. I was in one of your classes, and I was supposed to be the model student. and I allowed my neighbor in the class to drink some paint water, which I guess you're not supposed to do. And I got kicked out. And then when I was kicked out, I had some Play-Doh with me, I guess, and I stuck the Play-Doh in your door lock, and that required a janitor to come over and switch your door lock. And yeah, I don't think I was a model student from that story, but you allowed me to still come, so thank you for still allowing me to be in your class, even though I wasn't the best role model. And also, I have so many great memories from going to Loon Lake or going to the beach or just hanging out in our backyard or at home. And it it was such a great childhood that I want to say thank you for it. You were such a great mom, taking care of Eric and I, always playing with us, making sure that we were cared for and allowing us to hang out with our friends, even if we would throw the dog in the hot tub or put Barbies in the mailbox. You were always very patient with us and caring, and thanks for putting up with us. It was a great childhood, and I couldn't ask for anything more. So thank you, Mom. I love you.
Hi, Chris. Happy birthday to my first roommate and my only Irish twin. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that you can say that about as well. When Erica asked me to do this for your birthday, I thought long and hard about what I could say to really get to the heart of Chris. And I realized that what you're all about is your heart and the kindness in your heart and how big your heart is and how much you've always cared for other people. And this started at a really early age. We got along pretty well as roommates. You took in every stray there was to take in. I remember when we got Romeo and how we had to take care of him in our room together until he grew old enough to defend himself from the dog. If I remember right, you're the one who found Timmy and brought him home too. And all the neighborhood kids gravitated towards you, and it was because you were the one who was able to get down to their level and really communicate with them. And I think that's what's made you such a great mom, that you really listen to people and care about people. I also remember very clearly how we used to run around the lake at North Park. And it was a 5-mile run, and if I remember correctly, you had just started running, and I had been doing it for years and was, on the cross-country team and the whole bit. And while we were running one day, I realized that I was always the one who was winded, and you could talk the entire 5 miles. It never ceased to amaze me. And years later, I realized that you were really doing that for me, and that you didn't want to go any faster than I was able to go, but it was so slow for you that you were able to talk the whole time. And then I realized you didn't want to let me know that you could actually run faster than I could. And I thought that, I don't know why that incident popped in my mind, but I think it speaks volumes about who you are, and that you have this level of kindness in your heart that most people don't have. And I'm sure that's why your retirement party was so well attended. The way that you treat people, from your family to friends, it really means a lot to people, and they all wanted to give back. And that's what we wanted to do with this video that you've done so many times for so many other people. So I just wanted to say thank you for being who you are and being the most unselfish person I know. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for you that I could do, Chris. And I love you.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Happy
Hi,
birthday.
Chris. Happy birthday. Hey, we're doing a little video for you. Your daughter is instrumental in facilitating this, and she wanted everybody to kind of think of some fun times we've had with you.
Go, Erica.
So that's right. So anyway, we have a couple things we'd like to talk about that we remember, and who wants to start?
Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
A couple of things that I remember with Chris, and you may not have remembered these or not, but both of the ones that I'm thinking about centered around cross country skiing. And the first time I remember, for whatever reason, nobody else came along. It was just you and me after a fresh snow on a beautiful Central Oregon day, clear blue sky. And I just remember how pristine it was as we went through the mountains cross-country skiing, and what a great time it was. The other cross-country skiing that I remember, and it was only once that I did it, and I don't think there was anybody else but you, and we went out, again it was after a fresh snow and a full moon, and it was a little bit scary, but it was pretty neat too, and I do remember that.
Hi, we're dedicating this tape to our wonderful middle child, Christine Elizabeth, who was born on September 23rd, 1959. I remember the day very well. Omi was a third pregnancy, successful pregnancy, let's put it that way. But she was very fat and she had gained too much weight from water, so the doctor was afraid they wanted to induce labor. And we brought her to the hospital, and I had a reserve drill that night. And I asked the doctor, how long is this going to take? He said, oh, it's not going to come until tomorrow. This was Tuesday night. So I went to my reserve drill, came home, changed out of my uniform, and went to the hospital to wait for Christine to be born.
Right.
Okay, the cut.
Well, there's going to be more about the born story, right?
No, that's all I'm going to do on the born story.
Actually, yeah. Well, anyway, to finish that story, the doctor expected a huge baby because I was so big. Well, Christine was about 5 pounds, and and the rest was all water. So she had to stay in the hospital for a couple of days, I guess it was, before we could take her home. But she was a very tiny but healthy baby, and right from the beginning, she had the determination to grow into a beautiful young woman.
And right from the beginning, she was Omi's favorite child, because it's the only birth that Trudy's mother was present for.
When I was in 8th grade, we had this promotion dance, and it was kind of like you were going up into high school and you had this dance and it was fancy and you dress up, and and her mom chaperoned it, and I was out there and dancing with my friends. I look over and none of the other moms are dancing or anything, but there is my mom doing her little like dance moves uh, in the middle of the dance floor, and I was like, no, like, Mom, you can't do that. No one else is doing that. And so like I went over and I was like kind of like nicely like moving her like off of the dance floor, and somehow I like tripped her. And so like Mom almost fell, and I had to like I caught her, and I received so much crap about that because it looked like I tripped you on the dance floor. So just another like just shows how much fun you are, Mom. Never afraid to go out and dance and have a fun time.
Well, I had a sewing machine. I knew how to sew, and we didn't have terribly much money, so we did. I sewed the dresses for my three little girls. And they were all the same. and they were blue with some little white polka dots or something in them. And Christine looked so cute in it. But she wanted to come down a slide. She was only about 3 years old, I think. And and I didn't really want her to do that. I was afraid she'd fall off or get hurt or something, but I also wanted to take pictures. And so I let her climb up the stairs, get on the slide, and then she came down and the dress flew right over her head as she came down. It was so cute, but it showed her determination. If she wanted to do something that she thought she could do, she would do it, and it was great. So that's the blue dress story.
And I have also two great memories from when we had our Mexico trip. And the first one is when we were in Zihuatanejo, and we decided that we were gonna go to one of the dance clubs. It was actually like a salsa bar, but we were the only ones there. There was no one else. I think it was like a weekday, and so our whole family got up there and we danced. We strutted our stuff, did our dance moves. I don't think we were salsaing. I don't think we got the salsa moves, but we were trying. We were just trying our stuff. It was something I won't forget. It was definitely one of those moments, one of those special family moments. The other second memory I have is when we were in Mexico City, and there's this man on the side of the street corner, and he was dressed in all black, kind of like in a ninja gear, and you were wondering like, why is he dressed this way? Like, why does he have like a change bucket by him? And you decided that you were gonna find out what he did, like if you put change in, and so you did. And when you put change in, you like jumped out and you like scared you, and you did like your horror film scream, and because your horror film scream is really good, everyone on the streets of Mexico City looked over to see what that noise was, or who it was coming from, or what it was coming from. And look over and it's coming from this like really petite woman. it was something I will never forget. Just kind of showing how adventurous you are.
I remember the one time where you and I was at your house for a day, and I just played the Wii with Katie and Erica, and then you and I just went to the pool together, and we had a fun time like swimming and splashing each other around. It was a great time, so thank you.
Oh yeah, and then the Timmy story comes to mind. We didn't have a cat. I don't think we had any pets, if I remember right. And Christine must have been in high school then. Yeah.
No, grammar school. We're living in
Oh,
Maryland.
grammar school. That's right. We
Yeah.
lived in Maryland. So she came home one day, and she had a, what is it called, a hammerlock?
Yeah.
With the cat underneath, who could hardly breathe, probably. She held him so tightly, and she showed him to me, and she said, Mom, we need to keep that cat because he doesn't have any tail. Somebody cut off his tail. And look, he has no whiskers. Somebody cut off his whiskers. So
and he followed me home.
And he followed me home, right?
Yeah.
And so she was sent out to check with the neighbors to see if that maybe was their cat. And just, of course, she came home and said, nope, nobody wants him. And it was kind of her cat. And I'll come back to the Timmy. Well, maybe I'll finish it now. When Timmy lived quite a while, and when Chris was in college already, she came home, and Timmy was really, really sick. And he, by the way, turned out to be a valuable Manx cat, and they don't have much of a tail. Anyway, he had a stomach tumor. He couldn't be helped anymore. He was too old, and so I wanted to take him. I had taken him to the vet, the cat, and the vet couldn't help and said that he had to be
Stop. Okay.
he had to be put down. So I told Chris that. He said he was still home, but I have to tell you, I have to take your cat and have him put down. And she said, "No, Mom, I brought him home, and I want to be with him when he has to die." So, with a heavy heart, I let her do it, and she did it. Again, her determination showed, and I couldn't go with her for some reason. So anyway, I was worried about her because I knew she would be crying on the way home, and she did. But she brought the cat home, and I think it was winter, and we couldn't bury him. The ground was too hard, so we put him in our big freezer in the basement. So buried him in spring. Yeah, but that was all right with Chris. That was the Timmy story.
That's true. We had birds and there were all kinds of talk. It was winter in Pittsburgh. You couldn't get in the ground.
I remember when we were moving to Bend, and we were so sad. Erica and I, we were crying in the car, and we were all crying. You were crying too, and the cat was whining, and the dog was barking, and I remember like, oh, we missed all our friends. Like, how could this be any better? But the move to Bend was probably the best thing that has ever happened to me, at least. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to enjoy the outdoors. And one of my favorite things about living in Bend has being able to go skiing with you and Erica. And I would first off like to say thank you for teaching me how to ski. I know it must have not been easy having me like have to learn like going in between your legs, doing the little like pizza thing. Like that must have killed your thighs. Just thinking about it makes my thighs kind of burn. So thank you for doing that, because I have so many great memories from that, like riding the chairlift up and gossiping with you, or trying a new run, or there's always a new adventure that we would have whenever we would go up. If it was trying the bowl, or trying the cone, or the backside, it was something new, something so exciting that I enjoyed it so much. And we even had our traditions, like if we would go to Pine Martin Lodge, or any of the lodges actually, we would have chili. We'd have extra cheese on top of the chili, which it sounds kind of gross now, but it was really good. Or we would get these like sweet and sour candies or something like that when we were done, and we had a really bad food choice, but it was really good at the time. But just had these like traditions that we would always do, and I I enjoyed it so much, and it's something that is something that I cherish very, very much. So thank you for that.
Okay, that's early childhood. Now we'll skip on to high school. We don't know how much time we're going to have for all this. Okay, in high school, the thing I remember is Christine, and we went to a girls' high school called Vincentian, and she was the high scorer on the field hockey team. And Lee somehow convinced her that she was a great runner. She could run, and and he said you should come to North Allegheny, where the running team was known all over the state. And so her senior year, she switched to running, and sure enough, won some medals at states in some of the track competitions we had in Pennsylvania. Okay, and then I think related to high school, then when we were skiing all the time, we would, of course, be pairing off. Claudia and Cynthia would ski together, and the boys would ski together. So I always had to bring a friend for Christine, our middle child. And the friend that usually came was two of her school friends from Vincentian, Marianne Dietz or Bubsy. I forget Bubsy's last name. But I remember we even took a week-long trip to Vermont one time, and Lee didn't come, but Peter brought a friend and Christine brought a friend for that skiing trip to Vermont.
I want to say thank you for always taking me to all of my soccer practices and my games. I know there was a bunch of them, and I don't know how you did it, always running around getting me, and I want to say thank you. It means so much to me. And I have so many great memories of when we would travel to Portland or Seattle or Boise, and I can't thank you enough for them. I remember one time we were going back from Boise, and it was me, you, Linda, and Danny in the car, and you decided to show us your horror film Scream, and it was quite terrifying. I have never heard anyone scream like that in my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to hear anyone scream like that ever again. You would have made any film that you wanted, any horror film that you wanted with that scream. It was that good. So thank you for even making the smallest thing, like a road trip from Boise to Bend, fun and interesting with your like outgoing and charismatic personality. There's never a dull moment with you, Mom. So thank you.
Children had part-time jobs during high school, and Christine's first part-time job was in the Dunkin' Donuts. And she was working there, I don't know, maybe a week or a couple of weeks or so. And this really obese woman came in and she ordered a whole batch of donuts. And Christine goes over to her and peeks over the counter and says, "You know, you should be eating these things. They're not good for you." And the boss was in there and overheard her, and she was fired for giving the woman good advice, but not selling.
What did he care what happened to the woman as long as she paid for her donuts?
Not selling donuts.
One of my funniest memories wasn't actually when we lived there, but when I came back for visits, when I'd come back to see you or came back to see Katie. And the one time when you were just bound and determined to make that video for Mom and Dad for their anniversary. And I remember like just kicking and screaming, "I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do that. That's ridiculous." But then we got out there, and I forget, maybe it was Elk Lake, I don't remember, but it was you, me, and our daughters. And then we got into it, and we had the capes, and it just is one of the funniest times I remember of us doing The Sound of Music and just being really goofy, and it ended up really being a fun memory. Just we were being silly and and laughing a lot. I remember that. And you have a good way of always getting somebody to, even against their will, to do something that you really want to do. That ended up being a whole lot of fun. And the video turned out good too. I remember when, living out there with you, how you got me to ski, and I thought, no, I don't want to ski, I can't ski, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, you don't forget that skill. You were right, but I think you wore me out, and I haven't skied since. I remember going down that summit on my butt for 3/4 of it, but I still know we had a good time. We were out together. I love the time that we did have together for the 3 years that we did live out in Oregon. It was just a wonderful time for us, and getting to be with you and your family and doing things together. I really enjoyed that, and I was grateful that Sam got to know his aunt for a little while, and the good thing that the girls got really close, and you were a wonderful second mom to my daughter Katie, and I'm really grateful for that. So those are just a couple things that really come to mind. And I just think, Chris, one thing that I love about you is just how your sense of humor, and you also do embellish, but you have a great sense of humor and find the funny side in things, and people get upset, and then you can just make it humorous and lighten it up, and that's a great gift.
So the adventure and determination Christine unfolds in this next story, a vignette. When Christine was in college, we gave her the old Chevrolet station wagon we had and said, "Christine, we're giving this to you under one condition. We never want to see it again. If it has to be repaired, it's your responsibility." And Christine, the car was too big. She sold it and got a smaller car, which was a stick shift, so she'd never driven a stick. And I had arranged for her to stay with my boss in Chicago for one night during a trip out to North Dakota. And I remember my boss telling me after he had a very enjoyable time with Christine, loved having her out. He says, "But Frank, I was really worried. When she backed that car out of the driveway, it was jerking, jerking, jerking." She made it, but Christine made it to North Dakota. met Keith, and the rest is history. But that's Christine's trip to North Dakota.
Well, this video would not be the same without me mentioning family reunions, and with mentioning that comes the word lost. Yeah, lost and left behind. I think we both know where that comes from, but of course I have to go into more detail. And the first time that you were lost was, of course, in Pensacola. We had our first family reunion, and we were at Dairy Queen, and everyone was getting blizzards. Lynn and I were really excited, like a little treat. And we were leaving. The other car, I thought you were in the other car, and you were in the bathroom. And yeah, you got left at Dairy Queen. And the only reason, sorry to admit it, that we realized that you were gone was because Uncle Lee was missing his blizzard. We didn't go through the drive-thru when we went though, so.
No, stop, so she can get it.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
So we can
I'm going to
turn
go
around
through the
there.
On this day in December of
We don't know which day it was.
of the year of 1999. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out
I don't know why
there.
you have to be this exact, but
It's important to document things, Erica.
Okay, that's close enough.
Christine Hanson was left at Dairy Queen not just once, but twice by her
Oh my god,
family.
this is so close to your face.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sure.
ready?
Zoom out.
I think it was a reunion for Christmas.
It was,
Yeah, it was.
It's the turn of the century. That's why it was 99. 99 is right. We did it early.
Wow.
We didn't wait till 2000.
Yeah.
We did it in 99. There's one of the books.
Well, I have
gave
to
you.
believe it because I can't. I don't have it in my mind.
Well, I think it was just the kids. We went and got ice cream, and then everyone thought Mom was in the other car, and she wasn't, and then she just got left
There
there.
were 3 cars involved, so everybody thought she was in the other car.
And she just got left at Dairy Queen with Uncle Lee's ice cream.
That's how it is when you go to the bathroom.
I know, she always gets left when she goes to the bathroom.
Turn there.
She should just not go to the bathroom. Okay, it's filming. Gotta get the Dairy Queen. Wait, I don't have the Dairy Queen sign. Okay, never mind. We can get DQ's back there.
So this is the saga of the daughter that we left behind once or twice in her lifetime. But it first started here in Pensacola in December of 1999 at this very Dairy Queen. When all 20 of us came in 3 cars to have some ice cream. And it's an event that Christine remembers forever.
So, Christine, my beloved daughter, we went home thinking you were in the other car, and they thought you were in our car, and so we discovered we didn't have you, and you finally called. It wasn't much, it wasn't much time, and you said, and I picked up the phone, and you said, you know what? You are my mother. How could you forget me, mother? And we went right away and got you.
This is Lee speaking. Chrissy, where are you with my damn ice cream?
And so when we went back there, you would just sit on the corner with the blizzards, and we promised you that, that was the only time we would ever leave you. That was it. But sometimes promises are broken, and that would be one of them, because we left you in Europe. And again, you were using the bathroom. Don't think you should use the bathroom anymore at family reunions. Maybe that would solve some of the problems. But this time you were left with Dad. But on the bad side of things, you didn't have a cell phone. You didn't speak the language. But we didn't have a meeting place either, so yeah, those things weren't so good. But we somehow met up with you later at the top of this castle. Somehow we both ended up there, and I remember walking up, and Dad was drinking his beer, and he seemed actually a little happy that he was away from the family for a little bit, time to relax. But I remember looking there, and you were so mad. I don't think I've ever seen you that mad in my life, and I don't think I'll ever see you that mad. You were just fuming. I think you're still mad about it, actually. But I just want you to know that Eric and I were very concerned about you, even though other people were at lunch and we were searching for you. We got your back.
Well, there's I think, a really cute picture that we have, and it reminds me of when Lee was born, the first boy, and we brought him home. And in order to have the three sisters, Claudia, Cynthia, Christine, get acquainted with him, we put him on a cocktail table so they could all look at him.
Look down
at him. And Christine was the only one who kissed him. She kissed the baby Lee. That was really nice.
We're talking about Christine's wedding in California. Of course, we were given, 2 months' notice, and we had to find a place and for New Year's. So that was very tough to do. We finally found space. I think it was at the Hilton in Santa Clara, California, which was the next city down from where we lived in Los Altos. And we had hotel space for all the guests to stay there. The bridesmaids mostly stayed at our house, but all Keith's friends and other friends of Christine stayed at the hotel. And of course, we had a separate room for the reception dinner, which was fine. But to find a hall to have the wedding, after the wedding ceremonies and dancing and music, was impossible at that late date. So we were thrown in with the New Year's party at the Hilton, in the cowgirl room of the Hilton in Santa Clara, California. And half of the people were the wedding party that night. It was a New Year's night, of course, and the other half of the people were from the general public. And we had an absolute ball because the public thought it was great having this wedding party for New Year's, and we were dancing
Chris
with some
was
of
a
the people,
star
and
that party.
Everybody was dancing with everybody. So we made that New Year's famous in the Cowgirl Lounge. When was it? 1983.
Yeah, 1983. Well, New Year's Eve day.
You your story now.
Well, okay, there's one last thing I would like to add, Chris, and that is that I learned a lot from you about how to be a better mother. You were really a great mother. You had patience. You had lots of love, the way you held your children. You didn't let them totally take over your life and everything, So anyway, you were a great mom, and you still are. Thank you. And here, you can wear it now.
Go Ducks!
Right.
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, right. Quack, quack, quack.
Happy birthday, Chris. When I went to your retirement party, I was really bummed because I had wanted to get up and tell a funny story about you, and while the other people were speaking, I was trying to think, what could I say? And every story that came to my mind was one that I thought I didn't want to tell. I thought it would make you look silly, like when you filled up with your gas, when you went to the gas station and drove off with the nozzle in your car, and that was funny. Or when we played the joke on you in France and had you drive us home from the pizza restaurant and you kind of burned the car up with the clutch. Another funny story, but I thought, no, that just won't work. So, and then it occurred to me that I should have talked about our trip to, South Sister. What a fun day that was. Well, fun in question with the question mark. But I recall I'd just gotten back from France about 2 days earlier, where I'd been living at sea level, and we decided to undertake climbing a 10,000 foot mountain. I think South Sister is about 10,000 feet. And we left off, and we were with Keith, this was some of his friends, and soon they kind of left us behind. And you were such a dear. You stayed back with poor Connie, who was going, I was really gasping for oxygen. And then we meandered up the mountain, and finally we got to the part where it was really steep, and I think that's about the part I asked you to shoot me. You didn't, which was good. And then I said, okay, we've got to do this. And what really, really inspired me is we crossed a man coming down who was 77. And I'm thinking, wow, if he's 77, he made that, then I've got to make it to the top. So we trudged along that last part, the steep part, made it to the top, hooray! And just as the other people we were hiking with said, well, we've been here enough, we're leaving. Wait! We didn't even get to see the top. So we did, the two of us remained on top, had a little lunch, walked around the top and around, looked at the pretty view, and some nice person snapped this picture that I have with me all the time. And then we made it, and then we headed down, and actually the two of us, I think we were better going down than the others because of our ski muscles. I recall they were all complaining about how much their knees were hurting, and we made it down pretty well. And it was a long day, a fun day, and I'm glad we did it. So anyway, come over here, Noelle. So the rest of us, I have the kids here with me, and we want to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And just Noelle. And then Christoph, he's who's filming this. Say happy birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Christoph.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. And well, gosh, take care of yourself. I hope to see you really soon. If I don't see you before your birthday, then have a good day. And we love you, Chris. Okay, take care. Bye.
I've always enjoyed hiking the Cascades with you and Erica and Dad, and one of my favorite hikes of all time that we've done, and we've done a lot, is going on top of South Sister, hiking to the top. And I think it's my favorite because it's such an amazing accomplishment to make it up there, and it's even more amazing to be up there with your family and to say that each one of your family members has been up there with you. And just being able to see that amazing view, something that you're never going to experience in your life besides hiking to the top of there, is something that's very special. And I think it's amazing that we're able to do that as a family. And I don't think I will ever be in such a beautiful place as we were then. So thank you for showing me your love of the outdoors and letting all of us be able to experience that.
There's one funny memory that I want to bring back to your memory, and I don't remember whose birthday it was. I do remember that Claudia bought an ice cream cake, so it must have been Sam's birthday, I would think, and gave it to you to hide at your place. And then when it came time to get the ice cream cake for Sam, we found out that you put it in the refrigerator rather than the freezer, and we had ice cream soup cake.
Yummy!
I do remember that, and just thinking how funny that was and how distracted you must have been with all the day's outings and things going on to have put an ice cream cake in the fridge.
And Chris, do you remember when we were kids, and I think this was Pennsylvania, when you were learning how to cook and you made Jell-O and the Jell-O never gelled? I was like, how could the Jell-O not gel? I can't believe it. What did you do? You've come a long way, though. So that was kind of funny. Anyway, and Chris, one other great thing, I'm glad we did our cruise together. That will always be a wonderful time that we can all look back on, and hopefully we'll get another sister trip in. And that was a great time to be together. And I think one other time that I really enjoyed traveling was when you and I just went to California, and we went to see when Anna Grace was just born, and that was a fun time to travel. So you're a good companion actually for traveling. So it was fun. All right, well, we love you, and I hope you have a wonderful birthday and that you will be feeling good and you can celebrate your day, because it should be about celebrating you, sister. I love you.
Nice way to put
We
it.
love you, Chris. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I always enjoyed going to summer school with you because I got to see you at work, and seeing you at work was something that was extraordinary. And it was extraordinary because I got to see someone who thoroughly enjoyed their job, who loved it, and who also was exceptional at it. And I think that was so evident when I was there, because you could just tell those kids cared and had so much respect for you, and you had so much patience, and just you've always known kind of how to like act, behave, and help people, that I can't imagine someone being better at that job than you. And it was such a pleasure, even for the short time that I was there with you at work, to see someone like you at work, because it inspires me to find a job where I can at least be somewhat like the person you were at yours, where you enjoyed going to work, where you inspired people at work, where you helped people and changed people's lives by being there. And it's something that I'm so glad that I got to experience, because it's something I feel that is rare to see nowadays. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. And one of my favorite stories about you about you at work is the Troy story. And oh man, where to start with the Troy story? So you were waiting for Troy at his desk, and you had these tight jeans, and poor Troy, he couldn't resist your butt, and he pinched it. Yeah, he pinched it pretty hard, and you jumped off the ground, and Troy had to write you a letter apologizing, because yeah, you're not supposed to pinch your teacher's butts. Oh, oh, I don't think you ever wore those jeans again. They were too bootylicious, and I don't think Troy would be the only one that could resist them.
Okay, if I remember right, Chris brought home one of two male friends that she had, and and I guess I made not very positive remarks about the first one. I said, Chris, he wouldn't be so bad, but where are his legs? He had very short legs. Was not a nice thing to say. But anyway, when she was in North Dakota, she met Keith, and and we had moved to California when she told us that she and Keith would get married, and she came home. It was late fall, I think. She came to our California home, and we had to find a dress, and or maybe it was summer, whatever. Anyway,
No.
we
It was late October, and she wanted to be married.
Yeah, all right.
New Year's.
I remember the rest now, and so we went for a dress, and there were I remember two choices. One of them was rather plain but pretty, and then there was another one that I really liked, and she did too, but it was more expensive, and she would just say, "No, Mom, the less expensive is all right. We don't have that other one. That's okay." So she was going to settle for that. When she left, I went back and I got the more expensive dress. Because why did I do that? Because she was marrying a man from the West, and the girl, her dress had sort of a Western flavor to it, and I thought that's the one she needs to have. So, and she loved it. She loved it. The one thing that was tough to do, she came shortly before the wedding, and she had no shoes for the dress. And I thought she had gotten herself white shoes. Well, she didn't. We had to go all over the place to find a pair of white shoes. They were dressy enough to go with the dress, but she did. That's Ryan, of course. Okay, one more thing about the wedding dress. And I went out after she was gone, and I had bought the dress, and I wanted to, and I thought, well, a Western girl should have a hat on. So I made a hat, and she looked really adorable in it. But anyway, what it showed with the dress story, that she was patient enough and just nice enough not to want the more expensive thing, but it was worth it. You only get dressed in a white dress once, so yeah. And she was a beautiful bride.
I wanted to say thank you for always going to all my cross-country running events, cross-country skiing events, or helping out with any activity that I had in high school. I don't think I could have made it through high school without you. So thank you for that so much. And one of my favorite things about high school was being able to come home during an open break or an open block and spend time with you and Dad. And one of my favorite things during that time to do with you was to watch Oprah. And we would always watch Oprah at 4 o'clock. We were watching Oprah, or we were recording it so we could watch Oprah later. And we always had to do it together, and it was something that we would do, and we'd quote Oprah or say stuff that Oprah, like, reference her and stuff. And even if Dad would come by and kind of just make a rude remark about Oprah, we stayed Oprah strong, and we would defend her. Another thing I enjoyed about coming home during breaks was being able to have my friends come over, and I know that they enjoyed it because they got to gossip, and you kind of like became one of the girls. And I think even now that I'm gone and at college, you're going to lunch with them and coffee, and I get pictures, and you guys have your little inside jokes like defacing that. I don't even know what that means, but I just think it's neat that you have been so important to them and just kind of been like a second mother to them, and I know that they love you and care for you so much, so I'm glad that that has been something that has occurred.
So, Chris, one of the things that I wanted you to know too, because I think I've felt this many times, but have never said it, and I'm not exactly sure why, but the way that you treat other people and the kindness that you show in your heart towards other people has really made me want to be a better person over the years, and has inspired me to think about ways that I can be more kind, like my sister. Thanks.
People usually watch movies or read books or watch TV shows to see someone that's inspirational, or to watch someone that has changed so many people's lives. But for me, that's just looking at you, Mom, because you inspire so many people around you to do the right thing, to act kindly, to be nice towards other people, to help out others, because that's what you do every day. And it's something that has been amazing to watch for me, because I don't think that you come across people like you every day. And I think that you're someone that's extremely extraordinary. And I am so fortunate to have had someone like you as my mother. And I am even more fortunate to say that my mother is not only my mother, but also my friend, my hero, my inspiration, and my role model. So I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me. And I also, on behalf of everyone else, probably can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for everyone else. And I would just like to say thank you for being such an extraordinary person. And I love you so much, Mom. And I hope that someday I can be at least 1/4 of the person that you are, because 1/4 of the person you are would be an extremely extraordinary person. So, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life and to see someone like you in action, because that's someone that everyone in life should strive towards.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Chris. We're thinking of you.
Hope you're doing better.
Yeah, we hope you're feeling better soon. We're really sorry that you're having such a hard time, and we want you to know that we're thinking of you, and we wish you the best, and hope you can get some peace and heal and feel better.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! We love you!
Love
you!
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris.